here in about an hour's time, but I thought I'd come and say ta-ra before I go. Sorry about the first stream. Again, YouTube, I fucking hate you. I'm sorry. Oh, God, I just demonetized this video. Oh, you set the video up and then you put it to horizontal orientation. And then when you go live on the video, it reverts for no reason without you telling it to vertical. And if you try and go back and then change it from horizontal to vertical and back to horizontal just to double check, it gives you a gray screen forever and doesn't let you. Honestly, it's so glitchy, it's painful. YouTube, sort out your live shit. Sort out your live shit. If I can sort out this bloody island in 3 weeks. Sorry, I'm really thirsty. Right, listen, it is Sunday, the 1st of December, 2024. Well done for making it this far. I don't have a mic on at the moment because I think I've got dirt in my mic hole. I've got soil in me. I've got stuff in me. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so if there's a bit of wind on the camera, let me know if there's a wind on the mic, and I'll move the camera so hopefully it's better. Right, so I'm going to be leaving here in about an hour's time. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be taking my little blackbird friend who makes the strange noises behind me with me. Sorry, dude, you have to stay here. Yeah, I know, it's cool, man. And then I'll be heading over to Amarante, which is on the mainland, so it's the port. It means admiral. I'll tell you some funny, interesting things about Bocas del Toro here, where I am, while I'm, we're going to talk about the island and everything. But this island is just off a bigger island called San Cristobal. And then over where Bocas is, that's on an island called Colon, Isla Colon. And Cristobal Colon is Spanish for arsehole. I mean, Christopher Columbus, same thing really. He came here on his 4th journey to the New World, which is remarkable because, first of all, I didn't know that he actually set foot on, America proper. I thought he just went around the Caribbean and went, oh, it's India. But no. Apparently, he did actually step foot on, he went to Puerto Limon, which is now in Costa Rica, and he came here to Bocas del Toro. And so Cristobal and Colon Islands are named after him, and also there's a little island just off the bottom peninsula of Isla Colon where the town is, and it's called Cananero Island. And Cananero is Spanish for careening. Now, careening is not about going around corners really fast. It's when you get your big Spanish galleon and you put it on the beach, right? And you let the tide go out, and then you scrape the barnacles off, and you get big ropes, and you pull it over, and then you scrape the barnacles off the other side. That's careening, and that's what Columbus and his peeps did over there. Now, the thing I was saying about it's remarkable about the 4th journey, because you do know that his 3rd journey to the New World ended with him going back to Spain in custody. He was in chains. Why? Because of his mistreatment of the indigenous people of what is now the Dominican Republic. Yeah, and you got to imagine how bad he must have treated the indigenous people, considering, have you ever met a Carib? Have you? The Caribbean? Yeah. Not named after an animal. No, there's no Carib crab. It was a group of people. There's the Arawaks and the Caribs, and yeah, they all got wiped out. I'm going to say we wiped them all out. Us Europeans, with a mixture of smallpox and deadly weapons and cannons, Spanish galleons, and more smallpox. We wiped them out. That's why you'll never meet a Carib. An entire civilization wiped off the face of the earth. That was nice, wasn't it? And then we repopulated the islands with people that we brought over from West Africa in chains. And did you know that the British had more slaves in the Caribbean than America had in America? True story. Didn't step foot on America usually means at USA because, of course, I meant America as in the continents of America, North America and South America, and the squishy bit in the middle, which is this. This is the little umbilical cord, Panama, which is famous for the canal and the hat, which is actually from Ecuador, funnily enough. It's not originating here, but Ecuador's quite close. It's not that far away. And Panama used to be part of Colombia. And why is that interesting? Well, because the only reason it's not part of Colombia is because of America. Now, settle down, kids. Got to tell you another fun story about the shit that went down in these parts. So about 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, way more than 100, about 125 years ago or something, the guys who had built the Suez Canal, Mr. and Mrs. Suez, through Egypt, which is a nice, easy canal because it connects the Mediterranean with the Red Sea. It goes through Bitter Lake, and it's very flat. It goes through desert, basically, and it's flat. It doesn't go through mountains, right? They went, let's make a canal through Panama, this little tiny isthmus of a country that connects North America to South America. Let's put a canal there. And the French were like, yeah, we can do this. And we'll build it a sea level canal. So they wanted to build a sea level canal, right? So you've got the sea level of the Caribbean, the Atlantic. You've got the sea level of the Pacific, right? Which are not quite the same. But okay, right. We're gonna try and build a sea level. The only problem was, my French friends, there was a bloody big mountain range in the way. Now, as anyone who's seen the film Fitzcarraldo will be able to tell you, it's a bit hard to get a ship over a mountain or up a mountain. So, their efforts came to naught. Over 20,000 men died trying to dig a trench through a bloody mountain 100 odd years ago. I mean, just crazy, right? Anyway, so they gave up and went home with the tail between their legs. I think there was big hoo-ha about it. I think people were calling for the chief engineer to be put in jail. I don't know if he went to jail. I know a lot of people got bankrupted by it and stuff, and the French state spent a shitload of money on it. Anyway, then Teddy Roosevelt was the president of America about 124 years ago, and he was a crazy bastard. He's famous for being the guy who didn't shoot the teddy bear, which is named after him. Also Theodore, and also he's the guy who he went on an expedition up the Amazon once, and he was like the sole survivor, because whatever. He's the one who got shot. He got shot during his inauguration and then finished his speech. Mad bastard. Anyway, he really pushed for America to get involved in the building of the Panama Canal. Makes sense, right? Because at the time, the only way to get goods from one end of America to the other, realistically, was by trains, right? You couldn't do it by trucks back then. You didn't have interstate freeways, whatever they called them in the States, motorways. Didn't have them. So they had to get stuff from New York or Florida, Miami, and they get that round, or New Orleans, it comes down the Mississippi. They need to get stuff from New Orleans, and they need to get that over to somewhere on the West Coast. Let's say San Francisco, right? Okay, so the options weren't great, but going across the sea is usually the best way of doing things because it's easy to get stuff across the sea if you've got a boat and you can put stuff on the boats and the weather's all right. However, getting stuff from one side of America to the other or by sea wasn't very easy because obviously you'd have to go all the way around the bottom bit of South America, which is incredibly choppy water. Tierra del Fuego, it's called, down there, the land of fire. And lots of ships got sank by the big waves down there. It's a bit of a scary passage to have to take. So anyway, so they focused in on Panama and they went, let's make this Panama Canal. And at the time, Panama was part of Colombia. Panama was a province of Colombia called Panama. And the Americans got all like people together and said, "Ooh, why are you letting Colombia tell you what to do?" Because Colombia didn't want them to build a canal. They wanted to do it themselves, I think, but they didn't want the Americans involved. And the Americans were like, well, now you've got an idea. Why don't we push for separatism, for Panamanian separatism? Because, there's a Darien Gap, there's a bit of a gap, and it's hard to get from one end of the country to the other. So are you really one country? Are you really? They used to be part of a country called Grand Colombia? Or Grand Bolivia or something. There was like this huge country that encompassed what's now like Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Ecuador, Peru, maybe. I don't know, Gran Colombia. Was it called? I think it was called Gran Colombia. That's why all the flags are really similar. They've all got the same colours, haven't they? They're all red, yellow, and blue. Anyway, there's a bit of shared history. Anyway, at the time, part of Colombia, and the Americans were like, "Yo, independence! Why don't you go for independence?" And here you go, have some weapons. Why don't you fight for independence and die for independence? Because we want to build a canal. Well, they didn't say that bit out loud at the end. But yeah, anyway, so Panama declared its independence. There was a bit of a kerfuffle, as you could imagine, because the people in Bogota, the capital, weren't very happy in Colombia. And but the Americans got their way, as they invariably do, and they finished off building the canal. And what they did is they built locks, which is how you get over a mountain. There you go, just answered that question. So yeah, and then another 7,000 people died, 8,000 people. Oh my God, so many people died building that fucking canal. Jesus, wow. Lots of people died building the canal. Anyway, so the Americans owned it and ran it and took all the money. So every time a ship went through, when you go through, you have to pay by weight. Okay, so the heavier the ship is, the more you have to pay. There is a maximum width of a ship, which is called a Panamax ship, which means it can go through the old locks at Miraflores. And now they've built which is near Panama City, and now they've built new locks at Miraflores, and now there's post-Panamax ships, which are the ones that can go through the new locks, and they've got to be a specific width, and it's like a meter clearance on each side. They're going so close, it's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, Panama Canal, owned by America until 1999, then handed back to the Panamanian people, and suddenly this country that had more money was suddenly swimming in cash like you would not believe. Oh my God, that canal brings in so much money. Like I say, things are paid for by the weight, and ships are getting heavier and heavier. One person actually swam through the Panama Canal once and had to weigh themselves at the end and then pay like $12 or something for how much they weighed. True story. But yeah, they were allowed to swim through it. I don't think they did it without permission. It was a bit of a stunt. But yeah, and so what's happened in Panama City now is it's like skyscrapers everywhere. It's crazy. There's skyscrapers everywhere. But the thing is, here in Bocas del Toro, this is like a forgotten backwater. Like no one knows about, well, no one in the main city in Panama City, no one seems to give a damn. No one seems to give a damn about us here in Bocas del Toro, especially the locals here in Bocas del Toro. And it's kind of painful. Like, so it's difficult to get an education for the kids. So the Americans use that to, have Jehovah's Witnesses coming here and Mormons setting up special schools, village schools for the kids, where they learn about how much Jesus loves them and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, shouldn't the government be teaching the children? Shouldn't they? You got enough money. I've seen your skyscrapers. I've seen the state of Panama City. It's just skyscrapers everywhere. I think half of them are empty. And the fact that we have all these people who live on this massive archipelago, and we've got like one ATM. Well, no, we've got one bank, I should say. It's got 3 ATMs, but you can only take $250 out a day. No, $250 in a single transaction you can take out. It's so frustrating. And yeah, there's only one bank, and that's the only bank you can use, unless you want to go to the mainland and then travel for an hour to a place called Changanola, and you can use the bank there. And you can get £500 out from that, or $500 out from that bank. They use the US dollar here. It's effectively an American colony. Everyone speaks English. It's easy to get around if you don't speak much Spanish. Here in Bocas, people speak Spanish and they speak Chinese. Lots of Chinese people here. They also speak a Patois over in Basti Town, which is like little Jamaica. And it's called Guadi Guadi. And I read on Wikipedia that this is a term of disparagement. That's just what it's called. But it's kind of like a pidgin English with a bit of Spanish thrown in. It's quite fun. And some of the guys, you go over to Bastimentos Town, there's got music going on. It's like really, really cool music. If you like your reggae and your jazz and you kind of like, the music that you expect to be hearing, your blues. It's fab, and they'll sing in Patois. They'll sing in Guadi Guadi. It's a fascinating place, not just for the flora and fauna, but the people here are really interesting as well. This whole archipelago was once owned by the United Fruit Company, which is evil. I'll let you Google that yourself. So at one time, maybe Jinja Island was actually Banana Island. I doubt that. Anyway, so back to here. We have succeeded, touch wood, touching the wood, touching the wood. I'm touching, this is wood. I'm touching it. Hopefully, we have stopped the daily flooding here on the island. If you've not seen the videos that I've posted on my Facebook, head over to Graham David Hughes on Facebook. You can follow me or friend me if you have mutuals. And check out what we've done. We've built a little wall, 150 metre long wall along the windward side of the island, north side of the island, and then we've filled in a couple of places in other places around the island, and then we've added a load of soil to the middle of the island as well. And we've brought in over 4,000 bags of soil over the last 3 weeks. 4,000 bags. God, is my back hurting. I didn't carry them all, I have to say. We did have some help, but it was working every single day that I was here. Yesterday, we didn't do a morning brew or a island brew because we got up early. We had a bunch of stuff to do, and we went out into the mainland to a couple of properties there. Ishmael's dad's place, his cousin's place, and we collected a load of saplings and plants and cuttings, and we've got loads of exciting stuff that we're going to be trying to grow here on Jinja Island, including almonds. And that's not that exciting. Okay, more exciting. Bananas. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Pineapples. Yeah. Do you have to grow a pineapple tree? Well, you don't grow a tree. They don't grow on trees. They just grow out from what they are. Just cut the top off and cut. You know when you slice the top off a pineapple, if you bury that in the ground here, you don't have to bury it on the ground. Just put it on the ground, and it'll root out of that, and then you'll get more pineapples. It takes about 2 years for a pineapple to come out. But when the pineapples first come, they're really dinky. They're really like little cute little pineapples. You can't eat them. So we're going to have pineapples and bananas, and we've brought over a chocolate tree. Yeah, a cacao tree. We're gonna plant that over in the shady side of the island and see if it works. It takes years for a chocolate tree to actually make a chocolate pod. I think you'd look at like 7 years or something before you'll actually get these chocolates out of it. But cool, eh? Ginger Island chocolates. Yeah, and we've got a loads of Jinja. So here in Bocas, there's an outpost at the Smithsonian Institute, and it has over 160 different varieties of ginger. And ginger root, you get the ginger that you cook with, right? You can just break that apart into like 4 bits and put that in the ground, and it'll root, and you'll get these beautiful flowers. We've got different flowers, different colour flowers. Reds and purples and yellows, and it just depends on what variety of ginger it is. So we're going to have lots of ginger on Jinja Island, and when I'm here you'll have some ginger on ginger action. Come on, who doesn't want that? Ginger beer. So it'll be a while before you can take on Cadbury. Yeah, I think so. Ginger beers. What percent of Irish voters do you vote? It was the Irish elections yesterday, wasn't it? There was also New Granada before it became Colombia, from which Panama separated. New Granada, that was it. I mean, it wasn't Gran Colombia. Was it Gran Colombia for a bit? I don't know. I just seem to remember Gran Colombia being a thing. Simon Bolivar was the famous liberator of this area. There's actually, the park in town is called Simon Bolivar Park. And there is a bust of him, and he is the guy that the country of Bolivia is named after, and the Bolivar, which is the currency, is named after, and also Cinco Bolivars, and also the full title of somewhere like, I don't know, Venezuela would be the Bolivarian Republic, something like that, Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. Like countries have longer names than we actually give them. So China isn't China, it's the People's Republic of China, not to be confused with Taiwan, which is the Republic of China. In the same way that the South Korea isn't called South Korea in South Korea, that's not what they stamp on your passport. They stamp it with Republic of Korea, ROK, sorry. But North Korea is the People's Republic of Korea. True story. And we've got the the Republic of Congo, obviously, which used to be French Congo, and then you've got the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC, which used to be Belgian. Anyway, it was open and simplified, Spanish colony, Gran Colombia, New Granada, Colombia. Thank you, Sfax. We got there in the end. I like it. I like it when people look up the facts. It's facts with the facts. Love it. So just a quick show today. I'm only going to do half an hour because I've got to get packed and get out of here. I'm off to a mystery location. Now, if you know where I'm going, don't say it in the chat, okay? It's a mystery for a reason, which I can't divulge at the moment. But, I will be doing mystery brew. I'll try and do a show tomorrow morning. It might be very early. I might be just doing it in a corner of the airport where I find a power socket, plug my phone in and set my camera up and start yakking at you, if you don't mind me yakking at you. If I can use their Wi-Fi, use the airport Wi-Fi to have a jolly good conversation. But that will be in Costa Rica because I'm heading through Costa Rica on the way to my mystery location. But it's just been going to an airport, and I hate airports. Hate them. I wish I could just travel to every country in the world without flying. Might mention that. Anyway, so yeah, Extra History did a great series on Bolivar, on Simon Bolivar. There was a guy who was like the liberator of Chile. I get this completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was like an Irishman, and his name was like Henry Higgins or something like that. Like he had a name that was like very, very difficult for Spanish people to say because obviously the J is the H in Spanish. My name is very difficult for Spanish people to say because they look at it and they're like, well, what is this name? It's Hughes. I'm like, yeah, it's a silent GH in the middle, that is. And they're like, what? Why would the name have a silent GH? I don't know. It's probably from the Dutch or something. I don't know. Hughes men. I think the native of South Korea is Dane Minguk, essentially means Republic of Korea, Koreans. To be fair, England isn't the only way to spell England. Your diphthongs there, England's disgraceful. I mean, it's just so woke, isn't it? Isn't England the most wokest country in the world, right? Do you know why England's so woke? Because it's named after a bunch of immigrants. Think about it. Yeah. Do you like that? Because the Angles weren't from Britain, were they? No. They were from what's now, I don't know, North Germany, Denmark way, weren't they? The Angles and the Saxons. Yeah, they went from round our park. Funny that. Should remember the poppies are woke. England is woke. Everything I don't like is woke. Silent GH, probably the Normans' fault. Lol. Yeah, this goddamn Huguenots. So I'm dead excited about how much we've managed to get done on the island. I'm really excited about planting stuff yesterday. We've planted 14 coconuts that are sprouted along the walkway. And they're going to create a little avenue of palm trees as you walk along, and it's really remarkable because like we have so much rain here and so much sun, and it's so hot. Things just grow. It is just like, you know, every day is the first day of spring. It's just like you'll wake up and the next day and there'll be something else that's just grown. And there are trees on this island that look like they're possibly hundreds of years old, and I know that they're not. I know that I planted them, and I know they're about 6 or 7 years old, and they look so ancient and big, and I'm like, bloody hell, what do you do apart from grow? But yeah, one of the things I wanted to try and bring over yesterday was some giant bamboo. But Ishmael was like, why do you want to bring bamboo? I'm like, come on, it'd be really cool. I have like a load of bamboo. He's like, I don't think it'll work right. Don't forget the bloody jutes. The bloody jutes coming over here. FD Signifier did an election video about election results. Is there a reason why England isn't a Celtic country or Celtic country? Yeah, because it got invaded. Got invaded by the Germans. Then it got invaded by the French. Then it got invaded by the Dutch. We don't talk about that. Excuse me, Mr. King of France. I'm not actually the king. I'm the stadtholder. Okay. Excuse me, Mr. Stadtholder of the Netherlands. It's a stadtholder of Holland. Okay, whatever you are, right, Mr. Holland person. Mr. Holland, come to England. Be our king. Be our king. Why? Because we don't like the one we've got. True story, that actually happened. But yeah, blame the Romans to start. Yeah, bloody Romans coming over here with their straight bloody roads. But yeah, it was quite fun. It was quite fun. So yes, we've sorted the island, sorted it, mate, sorted it. Look at how lovely it looks. I'm going to just swing this round so you can see the island there. We've got Ishmael's boat there. You can see it inside, and then we've got the mangroves. So these trees here, these are all mangroves, and all the ones in the water, you can obviously see they're mangroves. You can see the big roots they're famous for. But then you've got the little entryway there, a little entryway. And what the plan is, there's always a plan. The plan is to just have loads and loads of plants and stuff growing and food, and get to the point where Jinja Island is relatively self-sufficient. We can grow a bit of food on the island, do a bit of fishing. Fishing's great. Love the fishing. Great job, Graham and the team. Thank you. Now, perfectly straight roads before the Romans, they were just a bit more sustainable. Lol. So does that make the Welsh and the Scottish true native to the UK? Yes. Yeah, like Welsh is closer to Old English, isn't it? Than modern English is to Old English, which is a bit weird. My old history teacher called us a nation of Mongols. Yep, it wasn't wrong. 7 days, Picts, Celts, up Scots. Right, so that's going to be it for the show. I'm afraid we're a bit late getting started because of bloody YouTube doing stupid things with my phone. But I just want to say thanks. For sticking with us through this. A bit of weirdness, I know, for a politics channel. Hey, let's take a politics channel and go and sit in the tropics for 3 weeks. Okay, Graham. Sounds great. But yeah, thanks for sticking with us and through our technical problems. Some mic problems along the way, bit of wind on the mic, and the fact that I very often had to restart the whole bloody thing because it was trying to make me do a portrait video, and I don't like doing portrait videos because videos should be like this, unless it's for TikTok, and then it can be like that. That's fine. Generally speaking, it should be like this. I've enjoyed the Island Brews. Thanks, Graham. Oh, thank you, Blue Badge. I'm glad someone enjoyed them, apart from me, Mum. So listen, I will try and be back in the morning. I don't know it'll be morning for me. My flight is dead early, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I don't know if it'll be light enough. I don't know if I'll be in a place to do it. But I'm going to be getting to the airport really, really early for my flight. Probably about 5 hours early for my flight. Because I'm not going to stay. I'm not going to stay the night. Is there any point in getting in to San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica, tonight, like late, and then checking into a backpackers for a few hours, and then having to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go to the airport? No, there's no point in doing that. I'm just gonna go to the airport and stay up all night, drink a lot of coffee. Okay, I might be in the pub. I might be in the bar drinking coffee in Costa Rica, and I'll just do a stream. I'll just do a live stream. See how you all doing. We'll talk about the Irish election, which I need to read up on, and anything else that's happened. Greg Wallace is a dickhead. I could have told you that by looking at him. But yes, it's been great. Thank you for having me. This has been a real good laugh. And don't forget, before I go, because I keep forgetting to mention this, I'm saying don't forget to you because I keep forgetting. We're having a meetup with our patrons and YouTube members. If you'd like to come along at lunchtime on Wednesday, December the 11th. So that's a week on Wednesday. And we'll be meeting up near Euston, near King's Cross and St Pancras. Okay, so we'll be in that sort of zone of London because I am coming home and I will be going through there on the way home. So if you would like to come meet us up for lunch, and if you've been a contributor to the show, I'll buy you a drink, I'll buy you a coffee. I might buy you a coffee for a change. Just to say thank you, and it'd be great to meet you. Great to meet you in real life, IRL. I don't bite. And yeah, it's. I wish I could make it to London. My anxiety starts using public transport. So that's fine. Look, I'm on the video. I'm here. It's fine. Anywhere in the world, I can be beamed onto your phone. But yeah, I wouldn't normally do a meetup in London. But A. Thompson has said, look, let's do one of these meetups, because he does them each month for his patrons and his YouTube members. And I thought, well, actually that would be kind of cool if we kind of combine our efforts there. So we'll be heading over there. And one of the says, not a big fan of Londinium. Well, that comes as a surprise when Angry Pagan. I thought it would be on your top list of lovely places to go to where everyone's really nice and friendly. Anyway, right, so yeah, week on Wednesday, if you're in London and you're a member of this channel or you're a patron, get in touch. I'll put the details on the Patreon page, and I'll do a special thing on the YouTube for the YouTube members so you can see it. Can I get all of your autographs? Yeah. My autograph shit. Anyway, right, I'll see you, I'll see you hopefully in Costa Rica tomorrow, and then after that, mystery location for the rest of the week. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being there. We've got to make it through this shit together, and we've got to do it with a smile on our face, because that pisses them off. Just keep smiling. That's the way you win. The best revenge is a life well lived. Just keep smiling. They're like, why aren't you angry and sad all the time? It's like, well, because that's what you want me to be. So I won't be. So, bring on the laughs, send in the clowns, and let's get through this together. Until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Ta-da.